Terraria's Calamity mod is easily one of the biggest, most fleshed out and polished Terraria mods that you could play. So much so that this mod has mods of its own. Calamity offers players well over 1,000 new items, 26 completely new bosses, 5 entire biomes, and even a totally new way to play Terraria with its new rogue class. But Calamity isn't truly for the faint of heart, as the real content, the meat and potatoes of the mod, all come after you beat the Moonlord. Calamity is a mod that tests your conviction and pushes your skills to the uttermost limits. All of you wonderful people are probably familiar with my plan to do one Terraria mod every month over the course of 2025, but I'm nothing if not an overachiever, so that's not all I plan to do in 2025. No. Boss fights like the Mutant and Abomination, they were tough, unquestionably so, but I want a real challenge. A challenge that'll make me want to punch a hole through my monitor by the end of it. Remember how I said that Calamity itself would push your skills to the limits, and how I also said that mods exist for the Calamity mod? Well, some of those mods exist only to make Calamity even more difficult. Mods that will revamp boss AI and launch their difficulties into the stratosphere. That's what I want. That kind of frustration-inducing, blood pressure-raising, heart-stopping challenge is the very thing I will be chasing all year. Introducing Calamity Infernum, the mod that takes Calamity out back and stuffs its face full of the same mushrooms that Viking berserkers ate before battle. Just like the 1 month, 1 mod series, for the entirety of 2025, I will be playing on a single world of Calamity Infernum, with each month limiting how much progress I can make in the mod by only allowing myself to fight certain bosses. And I should say that if you want to watch the live playthrough of this year-long challenge, stop by my Twitch channel where I livestream every moment of this challenge. And if you want to check out the raw, unedited VODs, there will be a link to a playlist in the description below. With all that out of the way, let's jump straight into January's portion of the 1 year, 1 world Calamity Infernum challenge. Since this year-long Infernum challenge is exactly that, year-long, the name of the game is not speed. I have more than enough time to explore, build, plan, loot, and basically do everything that's not immediately get prepared for a boss rush that I couldn't do even if I wanted to. Because I'm going to be in this single world for a good long while, my overarching goal is going to be focused on building. I have many grandiose plans for expansive builds I want to create, which will undoubtedly put my building skills to the test. But aside from the inherent challenge of the Infernum mode itself, that's exactly what I want. In nearly all my personal Terraria playthroughs, I don't ever really build much of anything. A custom-built sky bridge is about the limits of my creativity in the past. I want to change that. Everything from world-spanning train stations, space-bound forges nestled in the cores of floating planetoids, massive Shadow of the Colossus-style bridges stretching across the breadth and width of hell itself. Come December, I want this world to be an absolute work of art. Well, work of art by my standards, at least. But that's going to take some time, and we're only just getting started. So right now, we have to focus on getting the lay of the land, preparing ourselves for the early game, and laying the foundations for all of our ambitious projects. And we can start off with incredible luck with an extremely early golden squirrel, one that stops by so early that we don't even have a merchant to buy a bug net from. This is no doubt an indicator of just what type of luck that we'll be having all year long. So ignoring the money on legs for the moment, we lay down some temporary NPC houses that will protect us from the elements and give us a place to set up camp. House, if we can generously call it that, secured, we can now move on to exploring the nearby caves by spawn to see what kind of resources lie beneath our feet. An exposed underground railroad track does allow us to explore a fair amount with minimal digging, and we can pick up some good loot like our first heart crystal, houses with shoe spikes, a magic mirror, a band of regeneration, plenty of ore for later crafting, and an abnormally large amount of amethysts, which I certainly appreciate as I can use them to make a hook for greater mobility. Though over the course of this initial exploration, it does hit me just how large of an undertaking this will be, as I've covered this tiny amount of the map in over 90 minutes. We really will be here all year. The sole palm tree. The one palm tree that can possibly exist in this one location. This palm tree will be enshrined and immortalized. This is the beginning of the legend of the sole palm tree. We can never tear this down, and we can never allow this sacred tree to be destroyed. This is home tree. It is sacred to our religion. On our way to the ocean to hopefully get our angler, we need to go through our jungle biome, where I make quite the discovery. What the heck? What the heck is this? What kind of contraption is this? Do I dare dig into this? This is beautiful. What's with the sakura trees? Why? Is this like a cave? What is this? This is definitely some kind of Calamity Infernum construction. Wow, it's large. What is this? It's probably gonna look even better when I actually dig my way inside of it. I just wanna see how large, like how far does it go? Oh, now this is interesting. What is this? It's very natural looking. There's lots of, are these strange plants? They're all strange plants, aren't they? They're all strange plants. Oh, that'll give us a lot of, like, dye for, like, the dye trader when they inevitably move in, because now that I have a strange plant, they'll move in. Should we make our base here? This is just, like, a beautiful little area. There's a house. There's a sign. And a treasure chest. There's just an empty sign. Orange torches. In a strange pattern. I don't know if that means anything. All right, well, we have some orange torches to pick up later. And some houses and a fountain. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it's very pretty. Okay, cool. This is the Blossom Garden, which is absolutely not supposed to spawn above ground, but since it has, I am absolutely going to build something that integrates it into an even more massive build. At the moment, all it's got is just a bunch of strange plants and some very pretty sakura trees for us to admire. Dying to mere Wolfram enemies reminds me that this is Infernum mode, and that wood armor won't suffice for much of anything. But there is a silver lining. Or, well, a gold lining, I suppose, because the Squirrel of Golden Splendor returns, and reminds me to actually upgrade my equipment. So I craft up a set of gold armor and a Wolfram prosthesis that puts anything Raru could make to shame. With this new gear, going back through the jungle is much easier this time around, and we find that past our Blossom Garden lies a living mahogany tree that stretches right into a massive subterranean beehive. This is good to know for the future, but holds no value to us right now. We continue on to the ocean to rescue fisherman Grayson and prevent him from pulling a Macau.
Yay! Baby! Oh!
And now that we've secured the services of an accomplished fisherman, we can get every wonderful brand new fishing quest we could ever dream of. I'm absolutely looking forward to doing dozens upon dozens upon dozens of fishing quests. At this point, our looting situation is already getting out of hand, so my new immediate goal is to acquire some diamonds so I can set up a magic storage hub. To accomplish this, I down a teleportation potion and hope that it just happens to plop me down right next to some diamonds. Which it does, because I find a diamond gemcorn tree within the span of a minute, which was great. I die before I can get it though, which wasn't great. But on the way back down, I found a diamond crawler and got diamonds like that, which was great. I set up the single most important aspect of modded Terraria, magic storage. Beautiful. further splunking in the caverns layer inevitably leads us to some strange treasure. Oh god, what? The eggs reject your attempt at claiming the blade. What? What does that mean? Did I just find something like uber super rare? The eggs reject your attempt at claiming the blade. I'm just going to assume that that's extremely common and that I didn't just find something super ultra omega rare.
A few inches later.
Is that? That's another sword. The eggs reject your attempt at claiming the blade. Okay, yeah, it's an extremely common thing. It's extremely common. You can absolutely find these things everywhere in the world. You could just go, you can't go 10 feet underground without coming across at least 4 of those ancient blades. They're super common. I don't know, I didn't need to mark the other one, not at all. There's no way that they're important. Not even close. Oh god, fire, fire. I don't know what this sword is, or how to draw it, or even what it does, but apparently some higher egg-derived power finds me lacking. Hell is boring. The traveling salesman and his lackluster inventory also bore me, so I take his hat. It was a good day. I travel to the other side of the world and explore the first 4 inches of the dungeon, a perfectly respectable amount, and then head off to the sulfurous sea to pick up a handful of sand. The sand whispered into my ears and told me that the shimmer was on the other side of the world, so I went and found it. I built some mud huts for the demolitionist and the stylist so I could buy a cavern pylon, and then proceeded to sacrifice a heart to the shimmer. A heart crystal, that is, as well as a mana crystal and an apple. And in return, I received a vital and arcane crystal and a glass of ambrosia. With these upgrades, I was confident in fighting the goblin army, and aside from taking 5 entire minutes to beat, it posed no challenge. I found the goblin tinkerer in a cave sorting moss by taste. I knew he was a bit freaky, but I didn't know he'd be this freaky. Regardless, I can now combine lovely accessories, so after a brief detour to the over there for some premium NIMBY fluff, or clouds, as they're known on the surface, I can immediately corrupt said clouds by stuffing them into a bottle with pure human farts. By merely existing within the presence of this disgusting jar, I can double jump because my body will do anything, including defying the laws of physics, to get itself away from the bottle. It's a shame it's been magically bonded to my soul and I can never escape it. I'd honestly rather gargle rotten eggs, but apparently the eggs don't find me worthy, so whatever. With my smelly accessories, I fight the gelatinous monarch, King Slime. I die. I forge, in secret, a staff of icicles plucked from the depths of the world's most frigid tundras. I die. Using the esoteric building techniques of my forefathers, I confine King Caesar Augustus to the peaks of my tallest towers. I still die. By channeling the power of my favorite movie Footloose, I bob and weave between Slime Shady's crystal turret and rain down baseball-sized hailstones upon him. I think we got this. I'm not looking at King Slime at all. What I'm doing for this guy is shooting like gems at me. Every time he makes his little do, I'm alternating left and right. Because that, I feel like, is a good way of dodging left and right. Because he's trying to predict my movements. Was he dead? He's dead. He's dead. King Slime, and that's a goodbye. He dead. He dead. That's the power. And now that we've beaten our first boss, it might be smart for me to mention how I'm going to be handling the bosses for this particular playthrough. What I plan to do is limit myself to only fighting a limited amount of bosses in any given month. January, for example, I'm limited to fighting King Slime, the Desert Scourge, the Eye of Cthulhu, and Crabulon. I can do anything else I want or can in the game, so long as a prerequisite isn't the defeat of one of those bosses. So if I beat all of a month's bosses in the beginning of said month, then I have much more time for building and more creative endeavors. So I plan to balance the creative crafting aspect of the challenge with the Infernum level combat, and hopefully everyone will get to enjoy a bit of each. So in the name of being patient and trying to focus on more than just rushing bosses, I immediately go back to the ocean to try and fish up a reaver shark so I can get instant access to Hellstone to, in turn, make some of the most powerful gear in pre-hard mode. Technically, getting a reaver shark would allow me to skip some small amount of progression, that being getting shadow scales from the Eater of Worlds to craft a pickaxe, that would then get me Hellstone, but the Eater is locked until February, so the shark is my best play. I fish for a bit and happen to get a back-to-back sawtooth shark and swordfish, but no reaver shark, so everything I just said is a moot point anyway. We'll come back to it though. I'm not giving up on early Hellstone that easily. I go back to base and get started on laying the foundation to one of our super builds. Yeah, I think it's fine like this. At this point, this is day one of a very involved build. I am going to have an underground railroad system that spans the entire length of the world, that stretches across from sea to shining sea, and it has many stops and many builds along the way. And this is the very foundational dig. These are the foundational rocks upon which we will build everything. These bricks, this clay block, oh, I need one of each of them. This dirt block, this clay block, and this stone block will be the blocks of legends. And to facilitate that momentous occasion, I'm going to put them on things. And by things, I mean item storage stands. Item frames, that's what they're called. Perfect. I will make 3 of them, and they shall go and be immortalized. If I can remember where or how to put... Yes, this is where they shall go. They shall be immortalized in these items. The brick of legend. The clay brick of legend. And the stone brick of legend. These are the legendary bricks. We will remember them fondly forever. After setting down the very beginning plans for our railroad, I decide to excavate a elevator in the exact center of the world. There is no point to that choice other than my own OCD. This might be a stupid plan, but what I was thinking with this elevator is right now it's just a 2x2 hole all the way to hell. It's a borehole to hell, like that one borehole that goes to hell in like Croatia. I don't know. They dug like a really deep, supermassive borehole, and it just you put a microphone down all the way down there, and it's just like, oh, it's the screams of the damned, or something like that. But what I was thinking is if I in the future expand it a little bit and make like some kind of cool spiral staircase design all the way to hell, it would literally only exist for aesthetics. But I think it would be really cool if I had like an actual stairway to hell. I just think that would be really cool. So I have a year, so I'm gonna make a stairway to hell over the course of 2025. It'll be a fun time. Nothing will go wrong. It'll be built to absolute code. Oh, that's a lot of lava. It takes me a hot minute, purely because of the lava, to get all the way down to hell. But now that I have an easy way down here, I can explore it properly. Traversing to the west of hell eventually leads us to the Brimstone Crags, which have very little purpose to us at the moment, but do allow us to get our hands on some pre-made hellstone bars from a chest, as well as a lava-proof fishing rod in the Slurper Pole. The Slurper Pole will be great for getting loot from lava fishing, but that's for later. The hellstone, however, is unfortunately too few to make use of right now, so we have to move on. Venturing off to the east of hell firstly reveals the location of Drayden's underworld lab, where we find the inert Muramasa. Don't expect this to be useful anytime soon, as we need to best the Devourer of Gods before this can be used, and that particular hungry dog is months away. The lab also has a few hellstone bars, which does bring our total up to 9, but that's still not enough to build what I want. But it is enough to build what I need, and we'll come back to that in a moment. If we explore to the very edge of the underworld, however, we can find ourselves in the Profaned Garden. Yet another area that looks particularly imposing, but holds little purpose aside from some foreshadowing. What is this place? Am I burning? No, that's from something else. This looks like... Wow, okay. I don't know what this place is. The Profane Garden. I could probably, if I was immune to lava, just swim underneath that. What is this? Read. Yeah, please. 3 disciples, 1 mind, 1 deity, 1 purpose. Tempered by the holy flames of providence, an ancient artifact is crystallized with the sole purpose of initiating the ritual at the cliff of this temple. At this point, there isn't much left to do in the underworld, so I move on to exploring a new biome in the desert. There's plenty of stuff for us to get from the underground desert, mainly a desert medallion so we can summon the Desert Scourge whenever we're ready to face that. Delving through the depths of the desert inevitably leads us to the Sunken Sea, an underground world teeming with life that would truly be complete only if we found an Azelf hiding away within. Without some proper gear for underwater maneuverability, however, there really isn't much for us to do aside from exploring the laboratory here, which does admittedly get us the first tier of schematics for Drayden's weapons, but we won't make use of them at the moment. Oh, notes on schematics about the weapons then. From the Sunken Sea. The weaponry I supply to the workers of the laboratories is weak, hardly suited for battle. However, they suffice for self-defense against any lab mechanisms or creations which may have gone rogue. Addendum. For those who think themselves powerful, search the upper bounds of this planet's atmosphere for a structure similar to that of the Sunken Sea. I will know it by the end if you are worthy of battling my creations. The blood moon is rising. Okay. Well, isn't that just absolutely lovely? There's a lot of creatures. Well, we are definitely absolutely... Oh my god, why is there so many things? So many creatures. While sorting through the inventory and looking at recipes, the blood moon rises, and the power of Ganon grows. Sorry, wrong game. I meant that enemy spawns massively increase, and I have to fight back hordes of foes all night long. But at the end, having survived hours of bloody combat, we are left with no small amount of loot. Money troughs, wedding veils, silk-lined shackles for totally PG purposes, and an abundance of bloody orbs now line our pockets. The bloody orbs are the things I'm most pleased to get, as they will allow us to craft virtually any potion we need after we get an alchemy table. So the more we get now means the more potions later down the line. While chopping some trees, an item called the Sakura Bud drops, and as I've only found out after the fact, this is the item that's meant to lead you to the Blossom Garden. You know, the massive structure that spawned above our jungle? Yeah, that's supposed to spawn deep underground. We did this a bit backwards, but I'm sure it'll be fine. The dried glutton, Desert Scourge, is our next foe, and like many worm-based bosses, deals extra damage when it hits you with its head, so that's something to be aware of. Aside from that though, there really isn't much to worry about. I managed to pick up a Demon Scythe in Hell, and this is about the most perfect weapon I could get for this fight, as the Desert Scourge has a habit of chasing us in straight lines, so if we fire off a few Demon Scythes in just such a way that the Scourge rams straight through them, we can rack up a rather large amount of damage very quickly. And then pay attention to where it's charging. I think we're in a decent position. Yeah, there we go. Easy enough. If we actually try, we got this. Perfect. Of all the loot we can get from the dehydrated Alaskan bullworm, there isn't actually much to craft with, so we can move right along to the Eye of Cthulhu. The Eye isn't much more difficult than the Scourge, to be honest. After whittling its health down, it does fire off some projectiles that stick in the ground and deal damage if I step on them, but for the most part, those are pretty easy to dodge. Using a Thunder Zapper I picked up in the desert, the fight goes pretty smoothly. Although, it does fire a lot faster, and that's a benefit. So as long as I can focus on mobility and agility, I might be able to beat him. He doesn't seem like the most difficult boss in the world. Oh god. Oh, he sets those things down like everywhere. Oh, I don't even have my summon. Ow. Because I am willing to do a lot for a boss victory. I don't know if I'm willing to cheese it with the nurse. Oh god. Come on, just a few more. Just a few more. Just a few more. Don't die. Hit him. Hit him with the thing. Yes, we did it. Beating the eye here is pretty important, actually, because within its treasure bag lies an amount of demonite ore. Now, for most of the good gear that this would normally be used for, I would need shadow scales from the Eater of Worlds, which is currently locked. However, to upgrade my storage, which is something that I am very desperate for, I only actually need demonite bars. So right now, I want to make the fight against the Eye of Cthulhu quick and consistent, so I can grind out a lot of demonite. To this end, I put those hellstone bars to use to craft a cauldron, basically a handheld mortar which easily immolates the eye. So I obliterate and resurrect the eye 5 times to get enough demonite to upgrade all of my magic storage containers. Very helpful. And now, because I have a crippling compulsion to instantly fill up all those free slots of my storage, I fight more enemies. Well, I try to, at least. Clams are evidently my natural enemy. They kill me every time I try and fight them. It's like I revert back to 6-year-old baby Thianite playing Pikmin 1, committing blue Pikmin slaughter trying to get the stupid positron generator. These damn clams are relentless. I get so fed up dying to these bivalves that I once more go to the ocean to fish. I get the Reaver Shark in under a minute. Well, I died, but we got a lot of Hellstone, and that's literally all I care about. Oh my god. Alright, we got 71 bits of it. Woot! Woot! I make several hundred Infernal Chris, a Hellstone-based rogue weapon, and I flambe the miserable mollusk. Oh, that is much more powerful. Oh, that is significantly better. Okay. I don't know why it's lagging all of a sudden, but... Oh, don't run into the things. You think you can... Oh, he's swimming. Oh, we can totally do it. With the Infernal Chris, it's child's play. Hopefully. Just kill the thing. Yeah, just having a weapon that is significantly more powerful is all the rage. And the clam is dead. The clam is dead. And I don't realize it in the moment, but this fight against this giant clam is probably going to end up being the most important fight we will ever win during this challenge. And you'll find out why very shortly. It was around this time that I installed the Louis AFK mod. I did this purely because Fargo spoiled me with their unlimited potions, and I really wanted that back. So because of Louis AFK, I can get 30 of a given potion and then craft them into scrolls for permanent versions of the potion buffs. It's basically the same as Fargo's, it's just more convenient for me. Aside from that, there was yet another blood moon, which means more loot, which is always appreciated. With all that out of the way, I want to finish up with the final boss of the month in Crabulon. And thanks to our elevator, getting to an appropriate mushroom biome is effortless. The fight against this mutated parasect technically counts as a fight. Let's just see what Crabulon's all about. Oh god. Oh, if we made a bunch more of the kunais, or the infernal Chris, not kunais. Oh, we don't have to worry about this at all, now do we? I don't think Crabulon is going to be an extremely difficult boss. Although, who knows? Maybe he's just significantly less effective in the water, but it doesn't seem as if this is monumentally dangerous. Ow, he says, taking damage. I swear, if I beat Crabulon on Infernum mode so easily, it would, oh god. Yeah, if I come at this fight with a bunch of the, yeah, I'm not gonna win this first fight, but if I had a bunch of Infernal Chris, that'd be so easy to deal with. I mean, yeah, we got him down to more than half health just immediately. Oh god, he's doing crab stuff. What does crab stuff mean? What's with the spores? Oh god. Yeah, if we have Infernal Chris, it's more than fine. I mean, it's not impossible that we still win right now. I just need him to jump. There we go. We might just win without any arena or any training or any foresight or anything. I swear, if we beat Crabulon to stupid Argentum music, I'm gonna lose my mind. We're just going with a demonic oath sword and just hoping for the best. Seriously? Crabulon is child's play. What the heck? I genuinely expected Crabulon to be a bit more difficult. Okay, sure. Why the heck not? Well, I guess we're done with all of the bosses from January. I suppose even in an Infernum playthrough, there's going to be at least one boss that we destroy on our first attempt. Guess that boss is Crabulon. Regardless, with the annihilation of the fungal freak, every boss that I'm allowed to fight in January has been defeated. So now I can focus on laying even more groundwork for more super builds. I proceed to spend over an hour with a magic bag of infinite dynamite blowing up hell. It was a fun experience. I was also told by the voices in my head to revisit the profane gardens as I had missed a certain item. Is this a thing? Oh god, what the hell is that? What the heck? What the? What's with the... What? The Wayfinder. Ho 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 ho? The Wayfinder is essentially a controllable fast travel portal, which is such a lovely addition to my arsenal, and I will cherish it forever. It's at this point where I know I'm approaching the end of January, so I have one final idea that I set out to accomplish. I'm gonna rob the Sierra Madre, the dungeon. I'm gonna rob the dungeon and die trying. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I can cheese this. I can get myself an alchemy table without fighting Skeletron. You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to explore the outside of the dungeon until I can get inside the dungeon. Hold on, I have a super plan. I need a Star Fury. I am going to go on the outside of the dungeon, underground, and I'm gonna use the Star Fury to light up the dungeon until I find an alchemy table. And then, once I find an alchemy table, I'm gonna hoik in, yoink it, and then be able to get it. Because, like, the only restriction I've put in place is bosses. That's literally it. That's all that I've restricted, bosses. So if I can hoik in, get an alchemy table, I will absolutely take that. You see, by getting an alchemy table, I can use it to make potions from the bloody orbs I've been getting from the Blood Moon, which is great, no doubt about that, but I can also take advantage of the fact that there is a 33% chance that potion ingredients are conserved when I make potions. That has unimaginably important implications. Just one. Wait, guys, there it is. There it is. We found one. There's an alchemy table right over there. There's one right there. Okay, that one arrived a bit quicker. I will do this. I will get this stupid alchemy table. Okay, I can technically get in there. Okay, I can get in there. I forgot how to. Well, it'll be up in the VOD. Okay. I got it! I don't care that I got disgustingly dissected by the Dungeon Guardian. Alchemy table! Oh, do you have any idea what this will allow me to do? Remember when I said that the fight we won with the giant clam would end up being the most important fight we'd probably have? Well, the reason it was so important was because it dropped that. That's a pink pearl. Of all 3 types of pearls in Terraria, the pink variety is the rarest and most valuable, and I can use it to make a greater luck potion. If I'm lucky when creating the greater luck potion with my alchemy table, that 33% chance will kick in and not use my single pink pearl. If that happens, I can make more than one of those potions. If I get more than one, you want to guess what I'll do with them? If you guessed to shimmer them, then you'd be absolutely correct. I shimmer the potions into their crafted components. All of the components. For every potion. Bring the ingredients back to the alchemy table, hit that 33% chance a few more times, toss them in the shimmer, and bam, exponentially increasing returns on potions. Or in simple terms, infinite luck potions make infinite pink pearls, which I can sell for infinite money. That's a pretty fantastic way to wrap up the January section of Calamity Infernum. Only a month into this challenge, and we are already set for life when it comes to money. We'll never have to worry about anything that can be bought with money ever again. We're off to a great start. That's a wrap for January's portion of the 1 year, 1 world Calamity Infernum challenge, and hopefully all of you have enjoyed it so far. I've been having an absolute blast playing through this, and I simply must thank each and every one of you for the support you've shown for the Terraria content thus far. Before that Fargo video went up, we were only at 1,000 subscribers, but it's now shot up to over 5,000. That level of support blows my mind and every expectation I had utterly out of the water. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for the insane support and all the kind words. It truly means the world to me. But I won't keep you here any longer. I'll just say one last time, if you want to watch this challenge live as it unfolds, then check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Thianite Gaming. I stream this challenge in its entirety over there, and if you want to check out the full, unedited VODs of the challenge, there will be a link to a playlist in the description below. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the monthly Terraria content. It's going to be incredible. I have huge plans and you do not want to miss them. So with that, thank you all so much for tuning in to the inaugural episode of my 1 year, 1 world Terraria Calamity Infernum challenge. Whether you watched it for 30 seconds or the entire thing, thank you so much for tuning in and stay tuned for February's portion of the challenge. Later.